Yeah! Yeah! Oh, yeah. Huh! Huh! All right, time to get going. You guys ready? All right, let's get on with it. Good morning. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube channel of more than 1 billion foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance. Jeez, everything looks terrible today. That looks terrible. Because trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money. You cannot afford to lose. All right, 4.5 on the 10-year. Boo. Yeah, boo. Oil's going to move today. We have oil inventories later today. Gold is down. Stocks are up. Dollar's down, which is good. Bitcoin, it's thinking about maybe trying to get back to that all-time high and then later on to our target, which is still quite a bit above where we are now. So let's get an update on our headline news. This is our headline news radar.
OPEC leaves forecasts for global oil demand growth in 2025 and 2026 unchanged. Forex Live European FX News Wrap. Dollar struggles continue amid mixed markets. U.S. soybean exports risk 20% drop without improved China deal.
Germany's Chancellor Merz. We're committed to avoiding protracted trade conflict with U.S.
Mexican peso hits fresh YTD high as Banxico rate cut, Fed signals, and U.S. trade tensions loom. ECB supervisors step up checks on dollar funding at banks over Trump concerns. Report.
Time to suffocate Russia's economy after 17th EU sanctions package, France says.
Bonk price forecast. Breakout from bullish pattern projects. A 60% surge. Euro to US dollar recovers further as soft US inflation data weakens US dollar. Pound sterling trades mixed ahead of UK Q1 GDP data.
Looking at the left here, we have unemployment in, Aussie jobs, right? That's in 13 hours and 10 minutes. We do have oil inventory, so if I change this to medium, here we are. In 2 hours and 10 minutes, we will get crude oil inventories. Okay. Will we get another drawdown? Will oil go up? Well, we'll find out. Okay. We'll find out. We were this morning's webinar at TRADARS where we go over fundamentals. We spent our whole time just going through charts using implied volatility for the open today. So we're not going to do that, but it's oh so pretty. It's oh so pretty. And of course it organizes it based on the best thing to be looking at right now. Okay, so like pound dollar is very tradable. You see? Good. Good. So it says, look at this, not that. The headline news showed or discussed, right? The headline news radar discussed peso coming off of a big move here. It'll be interesting. What you want to see is this way. Now, there's less downward pressure at the moment because the Bank of Mexico has been cutting interest rates and the Fed has not. But right now, this is mostly, let's say, not really risk on per se, but this idea that the US dollar is weakening, which is a good thing. And that's the flow of capital moving out of the United States and into the hands of foreigners. You're like, Wayne, that sounds bad. Not if they're orders for things you want to own. Yeah. So if you're buying stuff from China, then you are shorting the dollar and you're long the Chinese currency. Now, you don't see it like that, but if you shop at Walmart, that's what you're doing. You're selling the dollar to buy foreign exchange. The products paid in yuan. You're converting dollar into yuan. Okay, great. So when you're feeling good and you're buying stuff, okay, well, right now it's more like on the PPI side, right? This is, I don't know, I guess maybe not PPI, but wholesalers buying products from foreigners, filling the shelves for Christmas, So that's a good thing. Let's do the sentiment. Let's read some articles. Done. Look at that. Coinbase got some attention. Look at that. 26 different websites wrote articles about Coinbase that were almost, were significantly positive. Cool. It's a lot of articles. Look at that. Wowzer. Look, okay, this article, these group of articles, these 19 articles favored pound over euro. These articles favored pound over yen. Me. Aussie dollar. Okay, so either pro Aussie or weak USD. This is weak USD. Yeah, maybe that's the thing. Swiss even weaker. That's good. That's risk on. USD yen up, so yen even weaker than dollar. Swissy even weaker than dollar, but dollar weak. Okay, all that's good. Risk on. And so the way it organizes it is the biggest winners and the biggest losers. Coinbase up, euro pound down, pound yen up, USD CAD up. Okay. Aussie dollar up. And it's not necessarily up, it's just the bulk of the articles being written in the media recently are favorable or not favorable. You see? Mm, 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 mm. Should we do some fundies? We did most of it this morning. Do 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 do. Let's see if I can fix that. I've been guilty of kicking myself in the teeth. Do 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 do. Yeah. That should be it. Yeah. All right. Let me get into there. And I have something that is only kind of working. Edit pages, manage pages. Hang on. Oh, don't get all. Huh? Don't get all. All right. Uh, 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 uh. No, I have to. Down in a hole, losing control. If I'll do it this time. Yay! Uh, uh, uh. So some of it's working, some of it's not working. The part that I believe is working is inflation levels. Okay, let's go USD and Europe. Does that seem right to you? March, May, April, so the most recent reading. I guess we have it down there. May 13th. Sorry, report. Yeah, yeah. So on May 13th. That was yesterday, right? Yeah. On May 13th, we got a reading of 2.5, and it was 2.5 before that. In Europe, on the 2nd of May, we got April report. It was 4.6. It was, right? No, it went from 4.6 to 4.9. Is that right? Europa, ECB, Europa. Europa. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Boo, 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 boo. Let's see. Inflation. No. See, that's not right. Inflation was 2.2, and I think that's the part that doesn't work. Okay. It's not pulling this data properly. I think this is right and that's wrong, but it's reporting 2.2, which is correct. 2.2. Okay. So part of this is correct, some of it's not. So that's kind of interesting, right? What we're showing here in blue is that inflation in Europe is lower than it is in the United States. How about Canada? About the same. Australia, about the same. Oops, we did that one. Yeah, look at that. Inflation in Japan. Ooh la la. It's good to see, huh? So we'll have an update coming. But is this why Japan is raising interest rates? $3.6. So again, this is wrong, but this is correct. And we'll be updated soon. All right. So, I'm trying. There's some sort of, I'm trying to get you some sort of tool to visualize inflation. Who's got the lowest inflation? So once this table is fixed, you'll see that it'll organize it by color. Putting the highest inflation first, lowest inflation, right? And so Switzerland, so some of this is right, but I know Switzerland has basically zero inflation. But the chart is pulling the correct data, the table is not. So that's February, that's March, that's April right there. Aussie and Kiwi haven't reported, so you go back to March. There you go. Pretty close. And we got Germany in there for some reason. What do you think? It's better than nothing, isn't it? It's got some hope. Sparkles, Osamu? Sparkles? Wow. Cool. So what are you, risk on today or risk off? I'm assuming you're using our risk gauges. So how would you want to trade the stock indices this morning? Okay, let's just look at what's likely to move. So when you look at the implied volatility tool, it'll tell you out of all the stock indices that right now you should be focused on these three. The other ones may move, but you missed prime time already on a couple of them, right? So what's prime time? Just these. Okay. Indices up. is what Jim's bias is or opinion. Okay, cool. So plan A, kick it off to 21. Plan B, kick it off the bottom of the channel. Okay. Oop, I thought I was on indices. Too bad. So okay. All right, let's start again. S&P 500. Okay, your choices are buy on the red, which is already gone, and then buy a dip. So that plan would be buy. Okay, and you can see we've already had one on a 15-minute chart. You guys see that? Let me zoom in for you. All I want to do is a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. See, look, you've already had it. Need to be on it, boy. Okay, we call that a role reversal. And for those that are scalpers, there's likely to be two things. There's this one, and then there'll be right trading with Elliott. There'll be a three-wave correction on a smaller time frame, and then an up. And this zone here might, on a small time frame, produce like a Garten. TWE. Yeah. All right, cool. Nazi. Okay. Ride the 20, ride the moving average is probably the thing. And then that's a 30-minute. Ascending triangle. Okay, the ascending part is bullish. So a pullback and up. And it's not projected to go very far, but I think if we can get some positive moves on the Saudi news or the Saud news. Now, falling wedge, okay, a falling wedge is not bullish, in my opinion, because you make a pretty significant low, then a lower high, and then a pretty significant low. Okay, but the bullish part is if you get to this green zone, which it may do, so scalpers can take that north, perfectly fine. But what I would prefer to do now is that catch the three-wave correction on a 15-minute chart and then take it north the rest of the week. Maybe the rest of the month. Huh? It's like drifting. You're drifting left, but you're steering right. Uh-huh. You want it to fall so you can buy it. You want it to fall because you think it's going to go up. Okay? No diggity, no Dow. Okay, this is way, 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 way out on a 4-hour. Oh my God, what do we do? Well, plan A is this. Plan B is this. But I think if I were to guess, if I may guess, that's going to be the play. That's why I have it as plan A. If it drops later, I have permission to engage. Let me draw it for you. Guess I have to get this really small. Okay, permission to engage. I take this low and that high, and I drag it across. Okay, so I have permission to engage as plan B. Okay, but right now, plan A. So I could put a half a lot there, half a lot there. Okay, and then put one full stop. What about the gap? Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. Up is up, dude. The gap, I mean, look, the gap is there. And so if your plan was have it come up, fill the gap, and then drop, well, that would have been hours after the gap had formed, not days or weeks. So if that didn't work, that didn't work. Also, you know, what was the fundamental part of the situation? The United States dropped tariffs by 115%. Yeah, that's risk on, bro. That's Dow up. For sure. No doubt about that. So only one little Nazi move right now. So it's if you're bullish, it might be just developing. Okay. So you're like, okay, well, maybe later today. So now you want to say, well, you're either going to buy it or you're not going to buy it. That's fine. Maybe today's the day. Maybe today's not the day. Doesn't matter. Let's go into a smaller time frame. Okay. Let's say you're trading this. Cool. Where do you buy? What's one method? Well, you buy on the 21 EMA. Okay. Up, over, up. Okay. Over, up. Well, some is like weekly buy zone, but that happened last week. That happened on Friday. We can update this. And my bias pivots. We go to daily. Okay. Once again, the market's moving so quickly that we might not get the opportunity. Maybe we do. But this is where you make a decision now. Okay, everybody? What are you going to do if it makes a lower low? Are you going to buy this or not? If you don't make the decision now, you won't have the guts to do it later. You just won't. Okay? If you can't do it now, you won't be able to do it later. Are you going to buy it or not? Okay? Then that's your plan. So yeah, that's plan B. Plan A is it's just going to go off the moving average because it's so bullish. That's that. One or the other. What happens if it drops? It has a horribly bearish day. Well, I bet you won't even get an opportunity to buy it. The only way you'd get into something like that is by using limit orders to get into the trade. But if you pull the trigger, you'll never get, most likely you won't get an opportunity. It won't happen. Or it's very, very short lived. And therefore, you're not going to lose a lot of money, right? So let's say you're trading it on a 5-minute chart. Great. Cool. So your plan now, okay, sort of in here, huh? Another way of doing that is you just use Fibonacci. Trading with Elliott likes Fibonacci. Well, this is better. Trading with Elliott. This is Wayne-Nachi. So you're like, hey, I'm a bull, and I'm on a 5-minute chart, and I'm interested in maybe going long here. Okay, done. Do I go long now? Do I go long now? Do I go long now? That's all you're doing. Do I buy it now? Do I buy it now? Do I buy it now? Okay. Do I buy it now? Do I buy it now? This is all you're doing. Just sitting there. Do I buy it now? Should I buy it now? Should I buy it now? That doesn't look like it. No. Yeah. It's not even bullish on a 1-minute chart, son. What's the most basic determination of bullish or bearish? Two answers are acceptable. Okay. Anybody? By the way, I'd appreciate if you click the thumbs up button for YouTube. That'd be great. Good. Well, yeah, but bias, but technically. If I'm sitting here on a 1-minute chart and I want to buy, how do I know when to buy? Okay, higher highs and higher lows. That takes a long time, though, huh? Unless you're doing it really small. What's another way? $21.55 cross. That's the one I'm thinking. Yeah. Which is about the same. Either way. So we sit and we wait. So what happens if we're wrong and this doesn't go up today? It's a bloodbath day. It's a big red day on NASDAQ. Well, it'll take a long time before that 21.55 goes up. And in particular, if you use something more conservative like a 5-minute chart. Well, on a 5-minute chart, it is bullish. We have made a higher high, and we are waiting for the higher low. You see what I'm doing? So let's say it drops down to here. Why? More volatility at the open. More likely you're not going to get precisely what you want because it's a battle between bulls and bears. Okay, no matter how bullish it is, some idiot's going to sell it. You got to be careful. So anyways, I think that in the short run is fairly reasonable. Go further out. Okay. And we are probably on our way, say the upper one, aggressive target. What do you think, Elliott Wave, dude? Where's my Elliott Wave, dude? Do, 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 whoop, boop, boop. 13 thumbs up. Thank you, guys. What did the other 66% of the people not? Why did they not? Was it bad? Really? I'm not doing a good job. I'm so sad. Do, 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 do. Anyways, that's that. That'd be great. Mm, 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 mm. Oil inventory is at 10. Is it 10 or 10:30? How about later today? Yeah. Are we going to break on Bitcoin today? Well, we're consolidating on an hourly chart, and we're heavy on this hourly chart. So it suggests up to the top of the apex, but then down again, huh? Or even if it breaks out to 106, back down. Not so sure. On a 15-minute chart, we have a bullish breakout. So bullish here, consolidating and maybe even reversing there. How interesting. Triangle, this is a consolidation. It broke to the downside, so you'd expect an up and a down, but then that didn't happen. So indecision, huh? Lower low and then a higher high. Yeah, indecision day. So we're just back into consolidation. 4-hour chart looks like a great opportunity. So on the longer run, it looks like we're going to go. Remember, our target is around 120. So, yeah, on the small time frames, we're looking at this tiny little dip. Okay, let me show you. Let me zoom in. Okay. So the trade plan is that we do want this to go up. Okay. Depending on the speed, the velocity. If it goes up too fast, it gets people to take profit. If it goes up a little more slowly, okay, it's likely to climb higher, right? So it's like you almost want to ride the moving average more. Right? What do you think? Are we going to get that far later in the week? Okay, you were alerted to this 17 hours ago. Okay, that's a strategy plan. So once you have a strategy plan, then you look for the buying dip type scenarios. Kind of like higher high, higher low, and then up. Because that means up to 104 and a half to maybe 105 and ish. Okay. Then some sort of pullback and then long and gone. And then some sort of pullback and then long and gone. What do we call that? We call that a bullish channel. So this bearish channel will go away. right? And you'll get a channel like this. So you have to decide, is it forming? Is that what you're trading? Okay. It's telling you this bearish channel, the down channel, has produced a breakout. So you ride the moving average up, okay? Or you buy the dip after. You guys appreciate this? And you know higher because that's what this pattern is. So 17 hours ago, it says, hey, Wayne, get ready to buy a dip on Bitcoin. Okay. And then we're like, dip, breakout, pull back, ride the moving average. Love it. I'm going to need some more coffee today. Terribly deprived of coffee. I wasted most of my morning mucking with my computer. Ugh. Ugh. Mm. Only 13 thumbs up. It's so sad. I guess we're up to 21. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, is something getting ready to happen? Well, let's take this one step further just to make sure everybody is thinking the right way. You have all the data to know when the opportunities are likely to show up, if they show up at all. Now, you might get the wrong opportunity, but you know what you want to do. Now you have to, like, is it going to happen now or is it going to happen later? Like, why waste your time? I should have been. So we're on NASDAQ. And we want to buy the NASDAQ. And we're we're trying to discern at what price and at what time will we buy. If it falls, we don't buy. So now we're just doing analysis, very simple analysis to try to figure out the price. And am I missing it because I'm talking? Did anybody see it? Did I go past it? What's anybody else? Okay, must have been right there on the front page. Homie, where's my NAS? Am I going crazy? Interesting. No, it should be there. I guess I can make it easy. Turn everything off. Turn everything off. Just give me, there's your DAX. So much easier. Dow, Nikkei. But see, oh, there it is. Slow day, right? Yeah. So the plan, okay, is this. 21,178, 21. So why don't we just say 21,200, 21 even. I think it was 2150, wasn't it? 21,050. The other one, did I type that in wrong? Just, yeah. Oh, look at that. All right, and the other one was just below 22, wasn't it? I mean, look, I have it here. Why don't I just do it? 21,178. $21,178. Okay. What is all of this? Okay, that's our support levels based on implied volatility. So we've identified this in three different ways, right? So plan A, it was, let's say, kick it off this support level. It did make a higher high. So this is either the entry or re-entry of plan A. Okay, remember this is based on implied volatility. Plan B is it drops back to the daily central pivot point, and then you look for bullish patterns there. Okay, you don't necessarily buy it there, you look for bullish patterns there. Okay, again, non-directional. We don't know the direction. Okay, so all we're looking at is based on a typical Wednesday. That's the best you could expect over the next 24 hours. What do you stink? Smell like a plan? You're like, Wayne, this is not helpful at all. Okay. Trying, dude. Trying. Amazing tools that we have. Just amazing. We're on a 1 minute chart. Patience, grasshopper. Patience. Hmm? What else can we derive from our analytical research? Okay. That we're approaching the next 3 hours are good for trading. Then it'll lag at London close, New York lunch. There's an increased volume at the New York close. So the next 3 hours are good trades. In fact, you should have been looking at this, doing the same analysis. And by the way, I did this 2 hours ago. So what I'm trying to say is you should be doing this 2 hours ago and potentially already be in this trade, because you can see the volume and volatility is getting better. Okay. So we're right here between, I guess it just turned 9, right? Yeah, it just turned 9. So probably about 7. Hey, guess what? That's when we meet every day as a group at traders.com at 7. Because then you can look at this data and say, what's the best time to make this trade? Okay. And the answer to that was here. Okay. Do you want to trade this time of day? No. Do you want to trade this time of day? Yes. Okay. So we're in that new time of day. So what's the general goal for the day if you're a bull? Well, somewhere around here, through our analysis, we know it's the best time of day to trade this asset in particular. Okay. And that the best you can hope for quantitatively would be a move up to, that whole 21,750-ish area. Kind of like that. I think Dow's going to move today. Good. Why good? I bought it last week. That's why, or the week before. I guess 2 weeks ago. Huh? So if I was a bull, I would say plan A long here or plan B long here. And that, because I'm a bull, there's no way in hell we're going to go lower than the daily low. Why? Because it's bullish. Or at least I should have an opinion for that, right? So what I really want to see now is that. Cool. Okay. And why do I think this? Well, I think Boeing, which I believe is a Dow component, is going to have a good day today. A little birdie told me Boeing's going to have a great day. And it's going to pull the Dow up. Yeah, I'm not going to get something so simple. It just shows you search engines are dead, right? They're dead. AI is like a million times better. Yeah, here it is. going to go up. It's going to go up. Yeah. And I think Microsoft might, because of NVIDIA, going to go up today. The Dow was in the Dow, of course. Cool. So anyways, those are my thoughts. Hey, you have to be opinionated. Like, opinionated sounds bad. Well, how about bias? Got to have a bias. You have to know what you intend to do, otherwise you intend to do nothing. Good morning, JGB. I've heard spring finally arrived in Canada. Yes, it finally made it. Yeah. Survived another winter. Hey, YouTubers, if you don't know, if you're a member of TRADARS for absolutely free, you can lower your spread. How do we lower the spread? We just give you some cash back. Yeah. So it's pretty simple. Let's say you open an account with $2,000. You can earn rebates on little rebates. We put a little bit of cash every time you make a trade. We put a little bit of cash into your cash account. The cash you can trade, the cash you can withdraw, real cash, real money. So, right? But on your $2,000 account, you can only get $4,000 in rebates. Now, it might take you a couple of years, but it's nice to get that money back. Mahai. So anyways, that's cool, right? Yeah. You're like, well, that's kind of a strange thing. Well, normally, if you're an introducing broker, you earn a commission while your clients trade, right? Well, in this case, you get the commission. Wait, what? Yeah, so every time you trade, at the end of the day, a little bit of cash, your commission, a little bit of is put back into your account. It's the craziest thing ever. They're like, Wayne, why don't you keep it? Well, you're already paying for TRADARS. Why don't you keep it? Does anybody find that fair? And I'm not even involved in any of it. It's just all automatic. It's all been programmed in. Huh? It's all programmed in. It had to be custom programmed because it's so strange. They're like, you don't want to keep the rebate or the cash? I'm like, no, give it back. So if you're a scalper, hey, it's a little bit better. That's all. If you're more of a longer term trader or investor, just think of it as well, you have a 2% cash back credit card. Well, think about it as a 3% cash back on your trades. You're like, it's not huge. It's not going to make you rich. It's not going to make you trade more. That scares the Jesus out of me. No, it's just a little thank you, a little something, something, a little money back. Hey, at the end of the year, yeah, at the end of the year, it adds up. And there's enough where it'll just keep going and going and going and going. So as you trade for years and years and years, it'll just pretty much always be cheaper for you to trade than most. Oh, well, hope you don't mind. Let's see if anything's changed on the NASI or the S&P or the Dow. No, nothing's changed. Okay, but the charts have updated, you see. Was it this one? Yeah, see, we hit the target. Remember what we wanted to do here? Okay, remember? Well, the scalp, which is the breakout, hit the target. 5908.79. We hit it and it stopped. Okay? Remember that you got the heads up on this candle. That's when the pattern was initiated. That's what this vertical line means. And why did it initiate the pattern? It made a higher high in a bearish wedge. So the scalp is up to somewhere here and here. Then the next trade, which is on a higher time frame, so you might have scalped it on a 1 minute chart or a 5 minute chart. But let's say the next 2 hours, 3 hours, the next 3 hours is a variation of up. So you could do a roll reversal up. That might be it. Okay. You could do this roll reversal up. That's just as equally good. Okay. So that's plan B. Those are fine. And of course, they're all Fibonacci's. Now, plan C, which is much less desirable, is back into the channel. Boo. And then up. So if you're a bull, that's the way to do it. Now, the next one would be way down here. That's just not today, huh? But you know what sort of a larger or longer term trader would do? Okay. I would have no problem if you put in a working order right around here, let's say. That's a buy order. Okay. And all three of these trades are the same trade, just different prices. I mean, dude, you're either doing this or you're not doing that. Like, dude, make a decision. The second one is just the same trade on a higher time frame. So what you could do is like just put in a smaller lot size and just buy the dip. You're fine. You don't have to get the perfect price. You should have a trade that you believe will run. Yeah. And if it drops a little further, well, this is a second one. And remember, if you put half the lot size on this one, it's half the risk. So you could do it two different ways. Half the risk, and you treat it just like any regular old trade. So if it makes a lower low, you're out, and you put in a new trade down here. Or because you put in half the risk on the entry, you can afford twice the stop. So now your risk is the same. You have half the lot size, but double the stop, which should be able to get your stop below here. So even if you're not perfect on this entry, you're still in that entry. And if you do get it right at some point, like it could be this one could be right, or it comes down and then it's right, you add your second half of the trade here after the risk has been removed and the trend has been confirmed. Huh? What do you stink? Too much detail? Are we 10 minutes away from the stock market? Let's go to the headline radar. Get an update. Fed's Jefferson. Tariffs could lead to higher inflation.
Fed's Jefferson. Current policy is a good place to respond to economic developments. Euro US dollar strengthens on increase in euro's appeal as reserve currency.
Mexican peso strengthens as Banxico prepares rate cut and Fed caution grows.
OPEC expects slower 2025 oil supply growth from rivals after price drop.
The US dollar Swiss franc is trading lower for second consecutive day, but finds buyers near an old ceiling.
Gold cracks the May low and sinks further. Euro a mid-performer in context of broad-based US dollar weakness. Scotiabank.
Canadian dollar up marginally and a relative underperformer. Scotiabank.
US dollar, Canadian dollar steady below 1.3950 as soft US inflation weighs on the US dollar.
So all those headlines came out while we were going through our charts. So the way that this service works, and all customers at TRADARS has this, access to this tool, while you're going through your charts and while you're going through the platform, doing your research either fundamentally or technically, you have this running in the background. And you always get updated on the news as the news is happening. And you never take your eyes off your charts. Okay. I loved sitting on the beach in the Caribbean, listening to this radar, this headline radar. It's just wild. Every once in a while, a little birdie whispers in your ear. Fed's Jefferson. Tariffs could lead to higher inflation. Yeah. Okay. Notice that both FX Street and Forex Live wrote about Jefferson's speech. So we're on multiple websites, and so it's happening. Some people know, most people don't know. Here you're tracking, let's say, I don't know what the number is. You're tracking 8 different websites that write articles about trading and investing in Forex and futures. And you're watching them all at the same time. And every time a new article comes out, you read it. You're like, well, that's not actually true. You have a machine do it for you and then keep you up to date. Hey, boss. FOMC member Jefferson is doing a speech, and this is what he just said. 6 minutes later, oh, here's another thing he just said. Dude, it's unbelievable, huh? Hey, Mexican peso. Huh? The Central Bank of Mexico is going to cut interest rates. Oh, look, you're on top of it, dude. You may not actually track the Mexican peso, but you do now. It just doesn't take you extra time. Now you know. So now at the dinner table or at the bar, you can say, oh, well, speaking about that, did you know Mexico is cutting interest rates? Yeah. Yeah, well, you got to know these things when you're a foreign exchange trader. Baller. What a baller. Again, let's check the time when inventories come out. And it's 1 hour from now, so it is 10. No, it's 10:30. Yeah, 10:30. I said 10, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. I think it's 10:30. But yeah, 10:30. Sweet. Okay. Gold, 21 minutes ago, made a lower low. Huh? Did you know that? What do you want to do with gold? Inflation or aggregate demand? What's your trade on gold? Got to know these things. So what you'll do is you can just pop this out. Okay. And now we can hear the news as it comes out, and we don't even have to pay attention. So what were we going to do?
US dollar Canadian
Oh,
dollar
gold.
technical analysis. Resistance holds, but buyers still eye more control.
See that headline just came out. Now you're informed. Hey trader, have you heard the news? Okay. Gold. Gold. Oh, wrong one. Gold. Yeah, gold having a bad day, eh? Okay. Well, April to May is usually a bearish month. May to June is a slightly bearish month. Okay. And then June, July is a nothing of a month. July to August usually have some pepper in it. August to September is terrible. September, October, bye, 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 bye. Oh. So it's pretty normal for it to flatten out here. And there's only a little bump up here. Now let me change this for you. Let me show you how fancy pants I am. Oh, I don't like it. So let me go to gold. Hang on. Bear with me, bulls. Okay. And I go to style and I go to the bars. I don't like the color, but anyways. Let's see if it'll update here. Oops. Scorecard bonds. Scorecard gold. No, I have to log in and log out. Boo. There we go. So I just did that. Yeah. I like this one better. Down, 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 pop. Okay. Down, down, recovery, recovery, drop. Okay. Up, up, up. Lovely. Never, never change. Sorry, now I'm messing around with it. I made that green. It doesn't look good. I made them red. Nonetheless, that's what it is. I've fallen down a rabbit hole. Stock market just opened. We'll get some headlines. I'll leave the headlines going because all you have to do is open up the page and minimize it. Oh, that looks bullish to me. You're welcome. U.S. dollar slips after more Asian currency turmoil. Ukraine talks Thursday.
Gold price forecast. Gold US dollar breaks support as market looks for next catalyst.
Yes, you're lovely. Bo, 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 bo. Oscar Mike on the move. How we doing? You like how to do this? It's a nice little process, isn't it? Yeah. That's how you do. Now do I get a thumbs up? Like, Wayne, no. No thumbs for you. Remember, this is based on implied volatility. So you already know the 1 hour target, the 4 hour target, and the 24-hour target. Oops. So if we go back to the implied vol, la la la, we got to go to the sentiment page. And we had it for Nazi. Cool, right? Cool. Uh, 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 uh. Excuse me. I'm going to need some more cafe. So why don't we do that? I'll let's share the plan here so that people know what we're doing. Okay, that's what that plan is. What's drawn here actually is the higher high predicts a higher low, which predicts a higher high, which predicts let's say, a bigger pullback, and then by the time we get to the London close, which is a fancy way of saying it, buy there and go away. All right, let me get a coffee, man. It's been a long morning. I'll put on some. Well, no, we have the headline radar going in the background. So I'll leave that going. There'll be an update soon. So I'll come back for the update. So I'll be gone for 5 minutes. We'll get an update in 6 minutes, and then we'll go from there and see what's left in this market. So I guess a little bit of music. Did we do music? Nah. All right, BRB. All right, what time is it? Yeah, in about 90 seconds, we'll get an update, a headline update. Meanwhile, I'm going to suck on my cafe. So, this is the most volatile time for trading this asset. What does volatility mean? Lots of up and lots of down. So what's happening is people bought orders before the market opened. They called their broker like, buy at the open. And yesterday there were already sell orders in the market. And we're just clearing out all these new orders. So the trick is we don't know how many people want to buy today, and we don't know how many people want to sell today. Maybe later today, there's some announcements on additional trade deals on the Saudi Arabia trip.
The gains continue in U.S. equity markets, led by the NASDAQ.
About 1 minute away from the update.
The gains continue in U.S. equity markets, led by the NASDAQ.
U.S. dollar slips after more Asian currency turmoil. Ukraine talks Thursday.
Gold price forecast. Gold U.S. dollar breaks support as market looks for next catalyst. U.S. dollar Canadian dollar technical analysis. Resistance holds, but buyers still eye more control.
Fed's Jefferson. Tariffs could lead to higher inflation.
Fed's Jefferson. Current policy is a good place to respond to economic developments. Euro U.S. dollar strengthens on increase in euro's appeal as reserve currency.
Mexican peso strengthens as Banxico prepares rate cut and Fed caution grows.
OPEC expects slower 2025 oil supply growth from rivals after price drop.
The U.S. dollar Swiss franc is trading lower for second consecutive day, but finds buyers near an old ceiling. I like how I say Swiss franc. That would drive my wife nuts. She hates it when I say terroir. You said the word. I don't know. Anywho, tickling the fitty. Oh, so much volatility. Other things to be cognizant of. Remember, this is just implied volatility. Are there pivot points above us? Is there an R3? Is there an R2? You know, what's the monthly? What's the weekly? What's the daily? You know, another way of doing implied vol. Uh, Another way of doing the implied vol. Let's do it on a different. Let's do this on. Oh, that's so beautifully done on the Dow. I guess we'll do S&P 500 today. And let's see, what do I got here? Which pivot points? Annual. Yeah. How about this? You're like, wait, what? Huh? Implied vol? So this is breaking down a 4-hour candle into digestible pieces. So the red zone obviously is the projected high in this 4-hour candle. Okay. And so now we're trying to guess what the next 4 hours is going to be like based on the last 4 hours, which means it's implied. Dude, I'm a disaster. What's going on here, man? And you can see we're close to the new candle. We're going to get a new candle in 11 minutes. And we analytically suggested earlier that we're bulls. Okay. So the way to read this then, in case you're a noob, okay, that this would be the implied. Oh, change the color. Everything. It still didn't work. All right. This is the implied buy zone. If we're going to head up. Now, it won't lock into place until this candle closes. Okay. But it's the same thing like this predicts this. Mm-hmm. So if we're going to, remember this is only a silly little 5-minute chart. So if we're going to do this today, okay, then we want to keep it above here. That's all. This is still the plan A, but that we had on NASDAQ. Now, this is not NASDAQ. So obviously the prices are different, but we know that the implied vol around the market open at 9:30 is going to be
Markets
the same.
firm amidst fading trade tensions.
Meaning like this is a good time of day to trade it, so you could be analyzing, right? Okay. Anywho, we are closing now in 9 minutes. So, okay, again, let me redo it. This zone is your implied low if you're a bull. Now, there's one other zone that's not even on the map right now, and hopefully we don't go there because that would create a lower low and that makes life complicated. Okay. Sell orders were sitting up here. Buy orders were sitting down here. Okay. That's our general assumption. Okay. And we should be at 59 in a few hours with a target of the next 24 hours of getting to 6,000. But in the next 4 hours, based on this, by the way, based on this, tells me 5,900 is our target. Oh my God. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. Actually, based on the implied vol here, that's our target for the next hour. So it's suggesting, based on what the S&P 500 does on Wednesdays, starting at this time of day, we could hit 59 in the next 25-minute candles. Is that right? Next hour, that's not right. Is it right? I don't want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're going to lock in 2 minutes, baby. Our implied low is 58.68. And we got to 58.80. How funny. So it's saying based on previous Wednesdays, it could go a little lower, but I think based on this version of implied volatility, which is weighted, we will weight it higher. If you were doing average, you would say S1. If you were doing weighted average, you would say M2. Does anybody have a question about that? These are different variations of implied volatility. And you should know the math, so, right? Wait, my chat went away. Maybe you've had 15 or 20 awesome questions and I didn't even see. Let's see, I brought the chat back. There we go. What happened with this volatility? It showed up right on time. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Can I analyze the Dow? Yes, I can. All right, everybody's clear with the mathematics of the different implied volatility calculations. Okay, cool. We are, again, is it still 3 minutes? Wow. I'm impatient and I hate waiting. $36 thumbs up. Oh, thank you very much.
Kiwi dollar US dollar gives up gains as US dollar recovers some initial losses. Fed Powell's speech eyed.
Australian dollar US dollar technical analysis. Buyers defend 200-day MA, but momentum wanes. It wanes? Do, 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 do. Hey, if you're new to the channel, Don't forget to subscribe so that you can attend future webinars. Nope. Thanks, Kevin. Well, welcome to the family. Oh, so are we locked in? No, we're not locked in yet. 120 seconds until we lock, baby, lock. All right, so far everything's okay. And that's a wrap. We locked it. Boom! So 5884, and the non-weighted implied volatility has also updated because it updates every 15 minutes. And it's 5868. 5868, and 5868 is the M1. Yeah, so that's the lowest low. I don't want it that low. So this leaves you two different choices as a scalper that is bullish. Oops. Okay, bullish scalpers. This is your preferred plan. Your secondary fallback position. Okay, your exfil is down here. And that's all there is. Niet. You guys like this? You want me to do this on the open? Or is it distracting? Oh, okay. Is that right? Blah, 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 blah. I need a haircut. Look, wild dog. What a dirty dog. Let's see. My stylist. Book now. Wow, scary for them. They have tons of time open. That's terrible. Yeah, I'm calling you to see if I can get an appointment today. I know it's last minute. Like, oh, please, God, come in. Please. Please come in. We're so bored. Yeah. Wow. Dude. 10:35, 11:05, 11:35, 12:05, 12:35, 1:35, 2:15. Oh my God. Nice thing is, if it's an early appointment, I get free coffee. If it's an afternoon appointment, I get free bourbon. And on my first haircut, they gave me a cigar, and I'm like, I love you. Dude, that's a good way to get the Wayne, huh? Sir, would you like a bourbon and a cigar? Let me think about it. Yes. Yes, I do. I accept. I don't want to be rude, so I'll say yes. Normally, I would not. But out of the kindness of my heart, I accept your generous gift. I found the thing interesting. What's that up to? Sorry about this magical trip we're going on here. Interesting. All right. Well, and Strippy, you're like, wait, what are you doing? So funny, huh? Yeah, that thing was just missing. It's, What? What is going on? Oh, we move that over there. What is this? Sorry. Sorry. Okay, we got our little pop right on our line. All right, I'm seeing if I can sort this out properly. See, I think it used to be like this, huh? Some variation of this. I think I can tighten it up. And it was just less distracting. Even though that was distracting, I think this is less distracting. Yeah. All right, that's not terrible. Thank you. I think I can bring this up. I can grab the charts. I can bring that up a bit. It looks like there's a YouTube thing over here. I'll mess with later. So viewer count. It's cute. Anyways, a little less distracting, I think, is all right. All right, back around. So notice up, there's buy orders here, sell orders there. And right now, the short-term price action is just this, really. I guess really it's using that. Yeah. Okay. Now we're getting the same thing by using 4-hour pivot points here. But this looks like it's going to want to come down and challenge the other implied vol. Remember, the other one was 58.68. Our implied low zone is 58.70, which is same. And we had these two, right? And we don't even know which one yet. Cool. My son has his email address for his new university. Ho, ho, ho! Legit. Too legit to quit. Dude, amazing, huh? I invented some people. Huh? I invented a couple of people, and now they're going to move out of my house. That's a whole new phase of their life and a whole new phase of my life. 20 years. And then what? The next 20 years is nothing like the last 20 years. You're like, now what? Get to reinvent myself. Yeah, a new chapter for sure. I'm going to start a motorcycle gang for people with dyslexia. It's going to be great. We're going to call it Hell's Angles. It's going to be awesome. Going to have the leather vest and everything. Pound sterling outperforms US dollar as US inflation cools down. Yeah, scalping, huh? Yeah, this is why I only scalp into trades and I don't really scalp. I mean, I can and I can't. I don't usually scalp much anymore because back in my day, scalping a market open like this, you would have made or lost 100 pips by now. We're like, we're still at the opening price. You know? Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. So we've identified a range is what we've done. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And really, if you want to look at it, it's really 4-hour R1, 4-hour S1. But that's not by that's not random. It's part of the calculations, really. So it will see the previous highs. It will see the previous lows because it's doing math, right? High plus low, right? Open plus high plus low plus close divided by 4, right? So it's going to see the highs and lows. So there's your highest high and there's your lowest low. Makes sense. So this to me, though, in general is non-directional. But in absolute terms, it's going up, baby. What we don't know is it going to go up in the next 3 hours or 3 days? Yeah, well. Okay. And so let's step back and let me redraw this so it's clear. Okay. Plan A is still valid. Plan B is less desirable, but somewhat based on this idea. And we had that on the other chart for NASDAQ, right? And so really, that is not likely to happen in the next 4 hours. That's what this calculation is. But, it could do this in the next 12 hours. 12 to 24, right? So it's like if this breaches to the downside, take a break. Take a knee, son. Yeah. Cool. What's the military term for hurry up and wait? Isn't it like hold fast? Hold fast! Hold fast, everybody! Quickly do nothing! And so this is maybe the difference between the way I scalp and the way most people scalp. Most people would be scalping this down and then they'll want to scalp it back up. That's not really how the Wayne do. So I would my primary focus on a chart like this is what I've already drawn, right? This is support, that's support. That's my favorite. Another way of doing it is going further out and looking at the moving averages. And you can see plan A is buy it on the hourly 21. Plan B is buy it at the hourly 55. It just changes my target, but the entry is about the same. All right, so that's fine. Nothing's changed there. Would I sell that? No, that's not how the Wayne do. Okay. And I think the worst case scenario is today is not an up day, but it moves sideways until the daily 5 catches up. So that might be later today. This might occur in the next 12 hours so that we have a dip and then it takes off. And then what? And then at the end of the day, which is 5 p.m. rollover, this moving average, okay, moves up a little bit, okay,
U.S.
and
dollars
to the left a
Asian
little bit.
currency turmoil losses starting to pare back.
Buyers in the Kiwi dollar, U.S. dollar are losing momentum. Down on the day now.
U.S. trade deals with Japan and South Korea said to be close. Report.
Okay, see, all those headlines just came out. That wasn't an update. Those 3 headlines just came out in the last couple minutes, like 2 minutes. So anyways, so plan B is really buy it on tomorrow's 5 EMA, which is likely to happen before tomorrow. I said before again. Where did I pick up before? I don't like it. Before. And one last chance. $5,885 was our implied plan A low. Will it hold this time? Don't forget, if you're new, subscribe. Come on now. 54 people watching, and everyone's already subscribed. Well, cool. Well, thank you for that. Let's see if it'll breach. If it doesn't breach, I need to go. I don't want to sit here for 4 hours. Got to move. I got to move. Give me the juice. This is why I like day trading and swing trading and position trading, constructing portfolios. Oh my God. CIA, we just keep crushing it. Our stats get better and better and better. Well, we have a 2155 cross down, 58 cross up. Really, based on this analysis here, this is sideways. Even my price action pivot points are saying sideways. Our range that I identified, there's the top, there's the bottom. So guess what? I just want to make this clear. In a scenario like this, there is no trend. The trend is sideways. So if it's sideways, it can't be bullish or bearish. So there is no 2155. You're only looking at the 5-8. Yeah. You can't say, oh my God, the 21's above the 55, so it's bullish, but it's not making higher highs or lower lows. No, it's not bullish, but it's not bearish either. Okay, we're going through price discovery. Well, that's exactly what volatility means. Okay, so what do you think? Is it going to do it? We're going to get a higher high? Come on, let's go! And I will draw it just to make sure everyone's on the same page. Okay, let's go look at the NASI while we hold our breath on that one. Okay, how am I doing so far? Well, we don't know the outcome, but pretty decent accuracy on a 1 minute chart, huh? So we'll see if we can get the follow through now, huh? Patience, grasshopper, patience. Okay. Again, make it nice and easy. This plan based on 2 levels or 2 different calculations of implied volatility. I know. Yeah. 2 different calculations of implied volatility that we did live while streaming on BoobTube. Yeah. And nobody had questions about the math, so I guess you guys are all on it. All right, come on. Oh, oil inventories are going to come out. Oil inventories. Good, I'm glad I stayed. Let me pull up the headline radar. "45 seconds to go." Nice. All right. Here we go. Let's move over. "13 seconds. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, huge buildup. Oh my God. Whoa. Worse than expected by 4.45 million barrels. So that's a lot of barrels. They thought it'd be a drawdown, and it was a buildup. What's going on, everybody? This is the refineries buying. I guess the experts didn't know. They're just like, well, based on the average, we think -1. But we know, okay, that this is a buildup of crude oil to be refined into gasoline. Gasoline is low. We're low on gasoline, so we're buying oil to make more gasoline. This is why you need to know what's what. So the experts were surprised. Yeah, well, that's why you don't listen to the experts. Anywho, huh? Whoa, that's like way off. Like way, way off. There's an extension. Somebody added an extension to the thing that I don't like. Google Translate. Gotcha. Got you looking for the new thing. Check out this Supreme. Oh, I'm living low next to the bass. Turn up the radio. All right. So that's something. Gold coming down. I guess we can take a look at this quickly for you.
EIA weekly U.S. crude oil inventories, plus 3454K versus 1078K expected.
United States EIA crude oil stocks change registered at 3.454 above expectations 1M in May 9th. Wayne struggles on certain news. Yeah. One of the things I have to train the AI is I've noticed that they don't know how to say negative. But anyway, so this is the short-term short, long-term long idea. Okay. So maybe a little correction here and then up again, maybe. Anybody else logged into TRADARS? If you are, come say hi in the headline radar section. Cool. Yeah, the whole crew's here. Yeah. Always. Yeah, I love this headline radar. I really do. I spent way too much money, and there's some financial regrets. If I were to be totally honest, hey Abdul, but I like that it's built. Yeah, JGB's in the house. So I put it back to the next, to the main headline news, and the next is in 11 hours. We got Aussie jobs, right? So you can do your analysis for sure, right? How's the economy doing in Australia? Well, you can look at, let's say, the unemployment rate, and it's been going up. Not really. 3.9. A little bit. Okay. Not really. Just a little bit. There are, although most of what TRADARS offers is focused on U.S. Analysis because it's the reserve currency, right? Galactic Cruiser says, "Hey Wayne, do I believe oil would be a leading indicator for inflation?" Yeah, I focus on oil heavily um, when it comes to analyzing future inflation. Okay. Oil inventory is big boss. Yeah. Yeah. I showed it in real time, by the way. But anyways, yeah. High, like we looked at this just recently, even in like Australia CPI. Um, CPI in Australia kind of fell a little bit, but the only thing that actually fell was energy. Yeah. So I definitely do that. But on top of it, there's also seasonality. So there are times in the year where oil goes up and it's totally normal. And then there's times in the year when oil goes down in price and it's totally normal. And that would wash out in the annualized adjustments. But it's when it's unusually high or unusually low that it starts to mess things up. Because there's something unusual going on that you can't account for with annual adjustments. So it doesn't matter if oil's at $100 a barrel, it's at $100 a barrel. I mean, that's that. And it's going to cause high inflation. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Or vice versa. But, okay, so you could look at Aussie jobs and try to get a sense of what's going down. I'm trying to add some, additional tools that might help you out, above and beyond just the United States. Right? So, for example, if Aussie jobs are fairly stable, unemployment was 3.9, now it's 4.1. It's okay. And in particular, relative to others, it's okay. And what's the trend in Australian inflation right now? There it is right there. So they have 2.4% inflation and 4.1 unemployment. Those are okay, actually. And this coming down shows pretty good influence, right? That's good for the economy. But as Galactic Cruiser is saying, well, what if the only thing falling is energy and everything else is either flat or up in Australia? Well, we actually did that on Sunday. Wait, what? Yeah, we already did all of that days ago. That's old news. So to find that, you go to training. And it was Sunday. Tuesday, Monday, Sunday at 7. Is that me? Yeah, this is me. This music's supposed to help you concentrate. I don't know. It's driving me nuts. Yeah. Anywho. Oh my God, there he is. All right. And let's see, did we do it here? No, we did it in New Zealand, maybe? No, New Zealand unemployment, ISM services, US, retail sales in Europe, Fed monetary policy, Bank of England policy, net change. No, so it must have been a week earlier. Good to know. So now you go to the previous Sunday. Here's one. By the way, I think you can cheat this. Oh, it's not expanding either. Oh, copy link is probably the cheat here. The cheat. Let's see if I can fix that. Keep forgetting. Now it should pop out. We'll see. Yeah. Okay, welcome to the week on the street. So, Australian CPI. Yeah, so it was 2 weeks ago. Okay. Mahai, oil companies don't control the price. I make a big point of that in the oil trading course. Okay. So don't say like I love how oil company, unless you mean Oil. Oh, maybe you mean oil company stock prices don't go up and down with. Not sure what you mean. How about that? Yeah. Anyways. So you got to go all the way back to Australian CPI, which I cover right off the bat, where we do the work to go.
The end of 2025.
Pattern 2, 3, 4, 5. So we plan the week ahead, and then we go back. Put that in the right spot. Yeah, it's Sunday. Look at that. I definitely need a haircut. What do we want here? CPI year over year. Boo, 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 hoo. Boo, doo, doo, boo, doo, boo. Taking a look here, CPI rose 0.9. Year over year, 2.4. Okay. They want to, Australia, the RBA, the Reserve Bank of Australia, they intend to have inflation somewhere between 2 and 3%. I always joke, never say 2.5. Well, anyways, yeah, look at that. So they're kind of where they want to be. Housing, education, and non-alcoholic beverages. Water? Non-alcoholic? What is that? Yeah. Oh, coffee. Yeah, coffee. Why don't they just say coffee? So anyways, all joking aside, yeah, housing for sure. Energy coming down is probably a good thing for them to achieve that goal as well. See, this is talking about energy, recreation, and why it's, and culture. Their inflation is improved in Australia. So I think there's a chart we can skip to. This is us looking at the charts of inflation. So the chart that I just added to traders.com for inflation in Australia. I can't back up. That's what I added. So this chart you now have in TRADARS for inflation in Australia. But that's not the chart I wanted to show. I believe there was a bar chart. I know here we are looking at all the subcomponents of inflation in Australia. That's pretty expensive in Australia as well, looks like. Look at that. 5% inflation on that. There's no provision for energy. Okay, so pretty good. They're right in there. They're right in the pocket. But I guess if we were going to talk about it on CNBC tomorrow, we'd say, okay, we're right within the RBA's target. 2.4 is not bad at all. But before the pandemic, it was 1.5, not 2.5, right? 1.4, not 2.4. All right, so seems like normally there would be more room for them to fall. Cool. And so this is what we do. That's us actually going through and analyzing the actual RBA. Well, in this case, was it RBA? I think it was the different stats organization of the Australian government. But anyways, we actually download and read the actual report. And then we go through it in great detail so we actually understand it. And yes, one of the major reasons that Australia has decent inflation inside their target window is a collapse in energy prices. So that makes their sort of good situation vulnerable. But we also looked at food. We also looked at housing, so on and so forth. So it's very comprehensive. We actually want to understand. And that's a good want. Oops. What the heck? How'd I get here? What was I going to do? Oh, yeah. So going back here. Right. We have that chart that we just saw on the RBA report. Here it is. Cool. Isn't that nice? Wonder if we can find it again. See, AI would know what to do immediately. But not Google. Yeah. And this is just not the report. So funny. Not the actual report, just something talking about the report. It's probably because it's not, I don't think it's actually released from here, and I don't have my database up and running. But anywho, let's get back to the charts and see how it's shaping up. Okay, here's one plan. Great. Oscar Mike, how are we doing? We're doing great on this one. Killing it, in fact. Killing me softly with his song. And then how are we doing here? Back to the top of the range again. Will we breach this time? You notice how I've flipped opinions 7 times already? No! Okay, so S&P has not broken out. What about our NASI? Okay, now just from the bottom of the range back to the top of the range. So they both are trying to break. Okay. That's cool, right? Yeah. Has anything else changed as far as pattern recognition? This is our alpha, but what about something that everybody should see? What is everybody else thinking? So we want to go to the indices. And NASI is slightly up. We tested the bottom of the channel and rose as we should. There's a breakout pullback, long and gone as we should. Breakout pullback, maybe a long and gone on the S&P 500. We don't know yet. And the Dow down to the moving average is still in play. But again, that came out 15 hours ago. This came out 3 hours ago. Breakout pullback. Okay, breakout pullback on the NASI. on the 30-minute chart anyways. You see? Okay. Breakout, pull back, long and gone. So, cool. What about the Dow 15-minute chart, hourly chart, daily chart? Nope. No patterns exist there. Not trending patterns and not reversal patterns. NASDAQ 50 and 30. Well, what about the hourly, 4-hour, and daily? Nope. Nothing exists there. No patterns. Don't even look at it. Doesn't matter. S&P 500. What about the 15-minute chart? What about the 60-minute chart? What about the 4-hour chart? What about the daily chart? Nope. No patterns. You don't need to look at it. Everyone else is looking at it and they're not finding anything. So don't worry about it for now. Just have your technical analyst worry about it. Have them watch the NASDAQ on all time frames, the Dow on all time frames, and the S&P 500 on all time frames. And then you say, hey, analyst, when any of these time frames on any of these stock indices show me a trending pattern, I don't care what trend, up, down, sideways, show me the pattern. I'll determine what I want to do. Also, if we get like reversal patterns like Gartley's as an example, right? A higher high producing a lower low, you should alert me to that as well, because if this is the end of the line, I want to exit. And that's what TRADARS does for you. So I'm watching 15 charts on this page. You're like, wait, I only see 4. Yeah, well, the other 11 don't matter. But when they do matter, it'll pop up here. So I'm watching 15 charts, and I'm looking for the top 10 most reliable trending patterns and about 4 reversal patterns. And if it doesn't show any of that, I'm not interested. It's not worth my time. It's not worth my focus. I need to know where to focus. And yep, looks like we're trying to break it. Maybe. Yeah, welcome to the world of trading. Slow as molasses on a cold Georgia morning. You could have just bought it 2 hours ago and walked away. To each his own. So if you had a good time today and you like that I hung out till 11 in the morning, click the thumbs up. Let me know. Let me know that you care. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And maybe just refresh your page and leave a comment. Just say, hey,